clearly, whatever Rayshawn recorded or said didn't quite cut it for Big U, and things were about to get dark. Then, at 12:37 AM, Big U left the studio, apparently driving Rayshawn back to his Airbnb. During this journey, at 12:58 AM, Big U's phones were turned off. Interestingly, in a 2021 Drink Champs interview, Big U had mentioned how phone data makes it impossible to get away with crimes these days.
The unique thing is, because of the way we are right now, we'll never have these stories. Because the camera ain't gonna let it, the one on the street corner. The phone ain't gonna let it, the one that's telling everything. And it's just these stories will become what the mafia stories were.
Alright, man, today we got how Big U exposed himself for unaliving one of his old football players he used to coach. My nigga, how you gonna unalive the boy you try to help? You try to change his life and now you gonna end his life? Hey, bro, I don't get it sometimes, but let's hop straight into it.
The extortion empire of the Big U enterprise was apparently just the tip of the iceberg when it came to the crimes committed by the alleged leader of the Rollin 60s. The 2025 criminal complaint would shockingly allege that Big U kidnapped and murdered a victim named as RW in response to disrespect from that
kidnapped
individual.
him too.
The truth of that story is much darker than anyone could possibly imagine. The young man in question was named Rayshawn Williams, a young football player who had personally been coached by Big U and was a close friend of his son, who went on to play for the LA Chargers in the NFL. Highlights of Rayshawn playing had circulated online when he was still a teen. Previously touted as a talented player to watch, his career was slowed by a knee injury that had him off the field for a whole season. He was apparently being courted by UCLA until his injury, and by 2018 he would officially no longer be on the team. Big U had reportedly not only coached Rayshawn in football growing up, but Rayshawn actually lived with Big U and his family for a brief period during high school, with Big U actually kicking him out after he stole a chain from his son and wore it to school. But despite the apparent brief fallout, Big U was allegedly still playing a supportive role in Rayshawn's life as he tried to find another career path following his football injury, and it would seem that he decided to give music a try. Rapping under the name Young Judah from May 2020, he would tease his upcoming musical debut.
Every time somebody go from athlete and then them dreams don't work out, it's either rapping or selling drugs. Why can't we do anything else? Like, why are those really the only two options that niggas be picking though? Like, is there nothing else, bro? It's 1,000,001 jobs out here to pick, and everybody want to be a rapper. And if the athlete don't work, they either a rapper or in the streets, bro. So.
In the form of an EP called Golden Dreams, which dropped in June 2020. Clearly an aspirational
title,
Rayshawn had high hopes for his rap career, continuing to tease his project as months went by. Unfortunately, his music wasn't really hitting. He would post snippets of songs that he had made on his IG, and things weren't exactly industry ready. In one song, he called himself Ray Hustle, an ironic reference to Big U's other murdered protege, Nipsey Hussle. As time went on, Rayshawn would post more snippets, and he seemed to be improving as a rapper song by song, even turning on the auto-tune and having a crack at making more emotional pain music. Despite not having success off music yet, Rayshawn was already living the high life, posting pictures of himself chilling in luxury properties. Curiously, he would make one post with a caption saying that some people think that he's rude. Anyway, he continued to experiment, dropping more snippets of music that he'd been working on, and showing himself in Las Vegas on numerous trips throughout 2020. But apparently behind the scenes, there was some kind of disagreement between Rayshawn and Big U, who had been apparently trying to help him get his music career going. Big U was apparently bankrolling Rayshawn's trips to a studio in Las Vegas to record music, but he was seemingly using his time in the wrong kind of ways, according to the...
So he was still trying to... So he was your football coach, let you live with him, and then you stole his son's chain, disrespectful. Now that's some crazy disrespectful shit. Wore it to school. It's not even like you hit it or nothing. You just straight down, I wore that joint. Like, yeah, I stole it. I took this off his neck. And he's still trying to help you after? Hey, okay, Big U, a caring person. For a gangbanger, he a caring person.
The criminal complaint. On January the 20th, 2021, Rayshawn allegedly recorded a diss song where he seemed to suggest that someone would get shot in the face over money, with feds making the suggestion that he was actually dissing Big U. It being believed that there was a dispute over Rayshawn allegedly recorded a diss song where he seemed to suggest that someone would get shot in the face over money, with feds making the suggestion that he was actually dissing Big U. It being believed that there was a dispute over Rayshawn wasting Big U's studio time and not making the most of the time that he had been gifted, with reports from another person involved in organising the studio sessions that Rayshawn had been skipping out and having too much fun during a week where he was supposed to be making a song a day.
Getting off track, bro.
Rayshawn releases a different song as a snippet to his Instagram where he indeed seems to be dissing someone, rapping about how he doesn't need to hate someone he's disagreeing with, but he wishes them the best, and dismissing any criticism that they've made, saying how he doesn't hear it and they should say it with their chest, ending with a sly lyric saying that he's supporting his friends by buying all their merch, and dissing someone for being a snitch, and saying how they would get killed for that. It's unclear if any of these lyrics were indeed intended as a sneak diss towards Big U, as he wasn't mentioned specifically. However, the Instagram post that included this song, eerily, was the only one on his page that Big U had liked publicly. It's highly possible that he perceived this as disrespect and was letting Rayshawn know that he had his eye on him. According to the criminal complaint, it's alleged that 2 days later, on January the 21st, interestingly, this being Big U's daughter's birthday, Big U and Faye, aka Robinson, drove from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, arriving at the studio unexpectedly, causing the studio security to be confused and ask a lot of questions. According to the later full indictment, Big U had gone there to confront Rayshawn about his lack of production during the allotted studio time, then later going to Rayshawn's Airbnb at 2 AM to ask him why he hadn't been at the studio the previous day and calling him out for disrespecting the Big U enterprise. The next day, on January the 24th, and into the night of the 25th, Big U was at a recording studio with Rayshawn and somebody else known only as Witness 2. Big U arrived at the studio around 7:04 PM, with Rayshawn arriving an hour or two later, recording a song from 11 PM until midnight, but clearly, whatever Rayshawn recorded or said didn't quite cut it for Big U, and things were about to get dark. Then, at 12:37 AM, Big U left the studio, apparently driving Rayshawn back to his Airbnb. During this journey, at 12:58 AM, Big U's phones were turned off. Interestingly, in a 2021 Drink Champs interview, Big U had mentioned how phone data makes it impossible to get away with crimes these days.
The unique thing is, because of the way we are right now, we'll never have these stories. Because the camera ain't gonna let it, the one on the street corner. The phone ain't gonna let it, the one that's telling everything. And it's just these stories will become what the mafia stories were.
But anyway, perhaps...
Bro, I say that all the time if you watch my reactions, bro. In 2025, it's not impossible to get away with murder, but it's damn sure hard as hell. Especially if you somebody of importance. Now, if you a little random and you kill some random boy on the street, maybe you might get away because the cops don't really care. They're like, who the hell is that anyway? We don't give a fuck about him. You know what I'm saying? But if you anybody of importance, you a rapper, bro, you ain't getting away with that shit, bro. It's too many phones, technology, satellites, all types of shit up in the air, cameras, ring cameras everywhere, bro. You think these phones, you think Hey Siri ain't listening to you every second? I know that's not listening to me right now. Siri, I know you listening. Don't think I don't know, Thotty. I know you listening to me right now talking. Yeah, you hear me. You feel me? Like, they be listening to phones. You can't get away with this shit, bro. All right, and they said, I guess the bull Robert that was supposed to be going. Big U was basically trying to invest in Robert. I guess he seen something in him. Maybe he seen the rap career could go somewhere. He was trying to invest his money. Robert was getting cocky, my nigga. He said, hey, I got the hoes on me. I'm living the LA lifestyle. I'm in B&Bs. You, Big U, I'm going to spend this money on this, spend this on the rentals, pick the thotties up in the Lambos. He was getting cocky. You know what I'm saying? Then the nigga dropping this.
Some kind of conversation on that ride between Rayshawn and Big U took a bad turn, leading U to make a decision to do something extreme. By 1:13 AM, Big U had pulled up to the spot where Rayshawn was staying, with Rayshawn spending 10 minutes gathering his belongings and returning to the car with a suitcase. Despite being scheduled to stay at the Airbnb another day, based on the details in the paperwork, Big U would drive with Rayshawn to a location on the I-15 highway. Allegedly, it was here that he would pull off the road, shooting Rayshawn dead, and dragging his body into a remote spot off the highway into the desert of Las Vegas near a landfill, with the later...
Wait, hold up, where he do that?
On the I-15 highway. Allegedly, it was here that he would pull off the road, shooting Rayshawn dead, and dragging his body into a remote spot off the highway.
So he tried to do it in the desert. Okay. Because you see how he was just talking about the cameras and all that. He tried to do it in the desert. He turned his phone data off, tried going. He thought he was slick. You thought you was slick, my nigga? No. It don't matter where you're doing it at, bro.
Into the desert of Las Vegas near a landfill, with the later indictment showing an image of the crime scene where the body had been found with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. Investigators did test drives to prove that the drive to the location where the body was found matched the amount of time that it would have taken from the car departing from Rayshawn's B&B and then from the murder location to where Big U's phone was turned back on, and started reporting location data once again, which was around 2:15 AM. Within an hour of turning his phone back on, Big U returned to the recording studio, covered in sweat, telling those there that he had just been to the gym. Interestingly, days later, Big U demanded the removal of all surveillance and recording equipment and evidence from the studio after he left, with detectives believing that the footage would have shown an altercation between Big U and Rayshawn that took place before the murder. In the early hours of the morning after the murder, according to the paperwork, Big U would leave Las Vegas for Los Angeles, with North Las Vegas Police Department agents discovering the body in the desert near the Apex landfill the following morning.
So Big U, you just went on the interview and talked about how you wouldn't be able to do stuff because of the new technology, the cameras, and all this stuff going to track you, and then you still go do it? My nigga, or did you not? I thought you was smart. My nigga, you just talked about it. You obviously knew this shit was... He tried to draw up some master plan like, oh, I'm going to take them to the desert. They're not going to be able to trace it, blah, blah. No, they're finna put all them pieces together from the time you left your crib to the time the studio happened to this to where he was. They finna do it. Bro, they not giving up on that shit, bro. Come on.
Cops immediately theorizing that the murder had taken place right at the side of the I-15 roadway based on their discovery of blood and drag marks leading to where the body was found.
They're looking at everything.
Immediately report the news, telling the public how the police had received a call from a member of the public who found a body laying in a deserted area near Las Vegas and Clark Peterson Boulevard near the Apex. This is a barren and open desert space, which while deserted, doesn't seem like a place a body would be hard to miss out in the open in the daytime. But it's likely that Big U drove off this unmarked verge on the edge of the I-15 in the darkness of night, thinking that this would be a remote place to drag and leave the body, perhaps not realizing that this was right next to quite literally the largest and busiest landfill in the entire world, with Big U arriving back in Los Angeles an hour after the body was found in the bay.
I thought it was next to Area 51. I was about to say, should that be the only place you could take a body and probably get away with it if you could somehow sneak that nigga in Area 51, because can't nobody get in there except for the niggas that's already in there. You know what I mean? If you get cool with them, you know what I mean? Then maybe you could do it like that.
Desert. NLVPD would break the tragic news to Rayshawn's mother, who provided more backstory, telling them that Big U and Rayshawn were close and how he would usually call his mother weekly, but after the murder, the calls abruptly stopped, and Rayshawn's mother had apparently called Big U to confront him after the disappearance of her son, with Big U denying that he'd seen or heard from him. Big U even tried to cover his tracks by replying to an Instagram DM from Rayshawn the day after the murder, but nothing happened for 2 years it would seem. And what's really fascinating is that Big U was right back to business after this alleged incident, arriving back to Los Angeles and beginning to promote his upcoming documentary, Hip Hop Uncovered, due to be released in a matter of weeks on FX. Meanwhile, the Crenshaw High football Instagram page would announce the death of their former wide receiver, Rayshawn Williams. His teammates would pay tribute to him in their Twitters, but curiously, Big U didn't once acknowledge the death of this young man who had been so close to him and his family for years. Weirdly, Big U never acknowledged this death of someone so close to him, but when Gilly's son Cheese was killed, he made a heartfelt post on the Unique Music account pleading, "Why are we losing our sons to the streets?" But then again, this could have been trolling, as Big U in the 60s were rumored to have robbed Gilly and his son years earlier, and U would post other tributes to other deceased youngsters that his friends had lost, but curiously, nothing about Rayshawn. But as the
Now, this is a common thing I see though. When I listen to these type stories, like that's where some of the people be messing up. They be trying to commit murders and they be trying to be too low key with it. That can mess you up right there. You trying to act too MIA, too low key, go off the map, don't let nobody see you, don't talk to nobody. Now you put yourself in the light, because it's like, yo, why was you doing all this stuff and now you not acting like your regular self after it happened? You know, you were just talking to cuz every day and now this was your man, you locked in with him, and now you don't even make no post, you don't shed one tear, you don't say nothing about it. Like, well, you might, now the eyes on you now. You making yourself more suspicious by not acting regular. It's just like when you, here's what cops do. I see a lot of times when what they'll do, they'll get behind you while you driving, right? And they'll purposely get behind you. You even do nothing, just to see if you speed up or you try to like turn this way or like get away from them. And then now they know, okay, he's suspicious. He's hiding something. You know what I'm saying? That's what they be doing. They be trying to do that shit to me, but I'm going to take him on a chase every time. You ain't catching me, my nigga.
Days went on, Big U would continue to promote his
I took him on a few
documentary. He was enjoying his newfound fame, posting a clip of himself getting lint rolled by the wardrobe department, showing the world that he was now a superstar 60.
You did it before? Oh, go ahead. Look.
On February the 8th, he would post a cryptic message saying that nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. After this, Big U would take to Instagram again to celebrate a billboard for his show placed on Sunset Boulevard, even pulling up to the scene to make a video saying that people are saying that they should stay away from Big U.
Trick.
What?
They say stay away from Big U, cuz.
They lying, cause look, Big U got us on the billboard on Sunset.
Sunset.
He on Sunset.
You see that? All up in that mic, you see that motherfucker?
I always wonder, bro, how do these niggas be
Big U was
feeling when they
laughing at
know
his
they did
haters
it?
and seemingly sneaking a shot at Nipsey Hussle, saying the marathon continues.
The motherfucking marathon continues, goddammit.
This was the opposite of laying low. Big U was soaking up the spotlight despite allegedly killing a close family friend less than a month before this. And the spotlight would shine brighter when eventually Hip Hop Uncovered would drop on February the 12th, 2021. Big U would tease part of the upcoming show, posting a clip where Wiz Khalifa described him as the Godfather and claiming that you can't do anything in rap without Big U being consulted.
If I was to describe Big U's role in rap, he would definitely be the Godfather. Can't do nothing without consulting him. He's the only guy who does move how he moves. He was involved with Nipsey. He had a relationship with Death Row. People from certain neighborhoods' names would ring bells, and his name was ringing a lot of bells.
Yu was at the top of the game within just weeks of this alleged murder, and now his story was being broadcast to millions of people on television. Hip Hop Uncovered would break down the life story of Big U in selective detail. It would include interesting tidbits, like a segment where he said that if he doesn't answer the phone, it can mean somebody dies.
People don't understand that sometimes if I don't answer the phone, it could be death for somebody else.
One of Big U's closest confidants and future co-defendant Bearclaw would even congratulate him on Instagram with a caption saying, "When you sit down and put your mind to it, anything is possible." But clearly behind the scenes, there was pressure on Big U. He would make a post at the start of March, seemingly angry about people coming to him with negative questions and saying that he wants people to keep him out of silly stuff, notably with the comments turned off. He'd post more cryptic statements to Instagram, like this one that says that he respects any man who can heal a heart that he didn't break and raise a child that he didn't make.
You know what? See, I always be wondering too, like when I just really wonder how it is though, like when the niggas commit murders, like it don't got to be Big U, it could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like and that shit is all over the news. Like nobody know you did it yet, but it's all over the news. They talking about it. Oh, this suspect died, and you just sitting at home like these. You just sitting at home like these, knowing damn well you did that shit. You know damn well your time is coming. You in the crib stressing. You like, damn. They found the body? Damn. Shit. They are they looking for the suspects yet? Damn. People calling your phone. Hey, you heard about such and such? Oh yeah, I heard about him. It's sad. You try to put on the fake voice, man. You know you did that shit. You know your ass toward the tail. I be wondering like how you be feeling though in the moment.
Perhaps a coded admission of failure, alluding to efforts to help Ray Sean with his football coaching and a rap career that ultimately he didn't have the patience to complete. The later criminal complaint would recount a recorded conversation where Big U allegedly seemed to allude to killing a kid who disrespected him and calling out people who thought he was retired. Ultimately, Big U might have just made the biggest mistake of his life, but it would be years before people truly found out all the sordid details of this deadly case.
Hold up, what? What'd he say?
Criminal complaint would recount a coaching and a rap career that ultimately he didn't have the patience to complete. The later criminal complaint would recount a recorded conversation where Big U allegedly seemed to allude to killing a kid who disrespected him and calling out people who thought he was retired. Ultimately, Big U might have just made the biggest mistake of his life, but it would be years before people truly found out all the sordid details of this deadly case. And in those years, not only did more extortion and pressing take place, but the chaos of LA streets would find its way to the podcast world, culminating in a dramatic downfall as several high-profile social media figures slowly pieced together the details of this murder and aired it out on podcasts for the whole world to hear, until finally the Fed stepped in and brought things to an explosive end.
The internet, I tell you all the time, the internet is the downfall of these niggas in 2025, bro. It get everybody locked up. It get everybody, like, you know what I mean, bro? If the internet exists, bro, a lot of people will get away with a lot more shit. I'm not gonna lie, bro. But it's something about when somebody commits some type of crime, nobody can ever just keep their mouth shut. It's like when it's like when your friend tell you a secret and then say don't tell nobody and then you still go tell somebody. It's like you gotta tell somebody, like somebody gotta know about this shit. And then that's why I never get when somebody says, right, they got a secret they want to keep, and then they tell somebody and they say, hey, it's a secret, don't tell nobody. Nigga, if it's a secret, then why you tell him? You know he's gonna tell somebody. You couldn't even keep your mouth shut. You think he's gonna keep his mouth shut? Come on, let's not act stupid here, bro. It's not a secret because he knows now. How is it a secret? Like, what? He's just like you. He's not gonna keep his mouth shut, bro. And it's the same thing when they commit crimes, bro. They gotta tell somebody. They gotta talk about it in some type of way. Even if they throwing subliminals. Even if they don't fully come out and say, I did it, which would be dumb. They gotta say it in some type of sneaky way. Like, okay, he disrespected me, or, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, they got to do some type of weird shit. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's how Big U exposed him unaliving his old football player. Damn, you done coached him. You done let him live with you. You done took care of cuz. You done put money into his rap career. And in the end, he still took his life. Y'all seen that? He was getting a little cocky with the lifestyle. Was getting to his head. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all just be safe out here, man. And don't do nothing like this. Don't commit no crimes. Don't commit no murders. You know what I'm saying? Stay safe out here, bro.